Hello, welcome to my market commentary. Since we've talked about all this, then let's start with the American stock market now. Look, Davidson's, in this long-term view, still hasn't managed to reach its previous peak. But despite everything yesterday, despite that whole President Trump and Powell, that did you fire him or not story, Davidson's ended the day up. S&P also ended the day up. That was pretty good too. Let me show you by opening these as well. Yes, it also finished, quite nicely. And Nasdaq. It also kept moving upward, even if just a little. And it's continuing. Now here, there are some concerns like this. They've started to climb to higher levels. Some funds that missed this rally before, they didn't make big entries. They entered with small amounts. They're still hesitant to get in. And since they haven't entered, that rally isn't starting either. That's one. The second is President Trump saying he'll increase tariffs. And that these will take effect in August. Just like last time, it was in March. People are worried, wondering if there could be such sharp drops. That's the third thing causing anxiety. The rise is happening in just a few. Big tech companies. It's not spreading to the base. So, the AI topic, artificial intelligence, is very important. Technology is advancing really fast. Every day we hear about something new happening in the field of artificial intelligence. And the market is moving with this. This isn't a very healthy thing. And this could go on like this, but if it just keeps going like this, it can't be sustained for a long time. It won't go on like this for months. Maybe it can go on like this for 3 or 4 months, but after that, it'll hit a wall somewhere. So, this is starting to create anxiety in the market. I'm very positive about the long term in America. This artificial intelligence and all is changing the world. It's very important, and those stocks that are the driving force right now, maybe after a while they'll slow down and all, but just think about 10 years from now. The future is actually here. And I think this week, it's still buyable. But after that, there will only be 2 weeks left. With 2 weeks left until August 1st. I think the market will move into a wait-and-see mode. Because Powell won't cut rates, and he won't get fired either. By the way, that's not even on the table anyway. But at least there's pressure being put on so that in September they don't skip the rate hike anymore. So, you have to interpret it this way and not panic. You need to stay calm, so if you're saying, I've got money on the side and I've waited until now, maybe today you could buy a little bit, still, in the American stock market. But for those who have waited until this hour, I think, with just 2 weeks left, they should keep waiting and not buy. I mean, there will be some tension in this market. I don't think there's any reason to sell. I've never really been on the selling side. I'm always on the side of adding more if there's a drop. If it gives an opportunity, then I'm in favor of adding more. We'll see. So, that's how we'll approach it. Important things on the cryptocurrency side. Developments are taking place. The first of these, Bitcoin came and stuck. That 116,000, I brought it down to 116,000. I say here, hold Bitcoin as long as the 16,000 support level is not broken. But new Bitcoin, do not buy after this time. Because in Bitcoin, the rise seems to have stopped. But when I look at Bitcoin, I also need to show the Ichimoku. When I look at Bitcoin dominance, the Ichimoku, it's the second day below the Ichimoku cloud. When it's the second day below the Ichimoku cloud, so we expect this to accelerate even more. Because look, like this. Back in the day, in November 2024, this really accelerated. Now we expect something similar to happen again in a situation like this. And even, when we look at this on the 2-day chart, I think it shows it even better on the 2-day. Yes, on the 2-day, we're actually on the first candle, but I think this is a better indicator. So here, we're on the Ethereum and Ripple side. Ethereum has passed 344. Ethereum can be bought. We expect it to get even stronger. The next resistance is 4014. That's an old one anyway. So people are asking, what's the target here and all that, guys, because it's old. Ethereum is way below its previous peak. It performed much weaker. That's why we haven't liked Ethereum for a long time. We've preferred Bitcoin, because Bitcoin hit a new high. As for Ethereum, its peak is much further back. Look, in 2021, there's this 4,867. Right now it's still at 3,344. I mean, while Bitcoin has broken record after record. So that's why now it's Ethereum's time. Above 4,014, 3,344 is already the current support. That's why we're recommending Ethereum and Ripple. We're recommending Ripple again because it broke past 299. 324 was the next target here. That level was also seen during the day today, but the momentum is strong. 2, 3. I think you should consider these three as support. Ripple has reached the 324 resistance, but it came up strong. So buy gradually from here, for example, buy one lot now. Buy the second lot if 324 is broken. This is the kind of buying I can recommend for Ripple. But the momentum is strong. It's going well. Look, it has come up like this. It's reached the resistance. If you want, you might say, I don't want to take that kind of risk. If you see it drop a bit, maybe you can buy. So, after we said it broke this downtrend, with quite a high return. Ripple, which provided that, is doing really well. That's the situation on the crypto side. Also, I'm thinking of doing something like this too. Once a month I make an attractive greeting video for the stock market. But maybe cryptos once a month. A few more cryptos like this. I'm thinking of making a video where I examine dominance and such. Or, in addition to this, once a month again, I'm thinking of making a video about precious metals. But let's see, I mean, will it get views? And people might want it every single day too. We can't really do something like that anyway. We'll see. So now that I've mentioned this too. So, on the US 10-year, nothing very interesting. There's no special situation, so I'll say we don't recommend buying new TLT. That's all. Let's move on to gold. We had said we don't recommend buying gold. There's no change in our view. Look, you can see it like this again. It came up to the moving average, and on the 4-hour chart, it couldn't break that 3,365 level. It couldn't break it on July 15th either. Yesterday, there was a kind of fake move as if it was going up, but then it came down. This was a move that happened in a minute or so. If I look at it on the 15-minute chart right now, no, you can't really tell on the 15-minute chart. If we look at the 1-minute chart, would we get it? I was just curious, that's how it happened. There were comments like, we missed gold and stuff like that. Some people wrote things like that. Let me see how it looks on the 1-minute chart. Yeah, when you look at it on the 1-minute chart, it really does. You can see it a bit more clearly. Let me check it on the 5-minute chart like this. Yeah, when you look at it on the 5-minute chart, it really does show. During the time I was at the sea, there was a 5 or 10-minute move, then another 15 minutes after that. So, it dropped and came back up in about half an hour, but it couldn't hold at 3,365. Now it's come down even further from there. So, we're not recommending any buying, folks. Those opportunities in gold are over. Well, there's a drop in silver too. We said the same thing for silver. Hold on to what you have. If it breaks above 38, then buy again. It hasn't broken 38. Let's say the same thing again. If it breaks 38, buy more silver. Since it hasn't broken 38, don't make any new purchases. Look, when I checked the gold-silver ratio, there was another rise there, but it stalled. It was just a reaction. It went up like this and then stayed there. Now, from here, I expect silver to strengthen again and for this gold-silver ratio to drop down to 84. That's all for today.